have the exposure that we are able to have now through BYUtv in this tremendous building. And we continue to look for every way possible to leverage what resources we have here at BYU to make sure our program and the story of not only the coaches but the student athletes and this institution are told throughout the world. And for those that were just at the Cougar Club function and heard a number of the points we were sharing there, because of the exposure we have today, I'm going to repeat a number of those points before I get into the recruiting class and then talk about each individual player. Over the past 7 years, as the head coach of our program, it's been a phenomenal experience, but I thought that I'd give some elements or a state of the program view just from a statistical perspective. When you consider now how competitive Division I football is, we currently are one of only 9 teams that have been able to stay in the top 25 at least 5 of the past 6 years. It's very difficult to do. It's hard to remain consistent. It's hard to win enough games and have the respect of your peers to remain in the top 25. Again, there are 9 of us that have been able to do that at least 5 of the last 6 years. We're one of those teams. When it comes to consistent winning, a landmark that many coaches use, where it came from, I think, is just by those of us in the business realizing how hard it is to do. But once you go from single digits per year to double digits per year, and when you get 10, that is a milestone. And we've been able to get 10 wins 5 of the 7 years that I've been that football coach. Not many programs have been able to do that. In fact, only 5, besides ourselves, or 5 have achieved more than that over the 7-year period that we've been coaching at BYU. The next is a number of wins total. Our program, not to seek validation or not to give anything other than direction of what we're doing and why at BYU, we want young people of faith, of academic excellence, of social standards, but also that are good football players. And so over the 7-year tenure, only 14 teams have won more games than BYU. And then lastly, in terms of postseason play, which probably receives the most visibility, and with visibility, a lot of times comes credibility. So when it comes to the end of the year, we've gone to a bowl game the past 7 years, and that's every year that myself and our staff have been together. 5 of those 7 games we've won. That is significant when you look at the statistics, saying that only 7 schools have been able to do that, especially with the number of bowl games there is now. You know, about 35 games, I think, are played postseason, yet only 7 have won. 5 of those 7 if they've been to every one of them, which is, again, I think it shows the direction of whom we're after and the consistency we're hoping to promote. When now you consider the independent move, it has been an amazing experience working with Tom Holmo. We've probably spent more time on scheduling the past year than the previous 6 combined in terms of dialogue and number of teams we could have to play. However, the exposure that we've gained has been a phenomenal experience for our program, for our fans, I think for the church and the families of our young people. When you look at the number of games played, we had 13 games that we played this year. 11 of those were on ESPN in one form or the other. In terms of number of Division I programs and the elite programs, there were only 6 or 5 that were seen more by the nation than us. We were 6th, which that in and of itself has been a fantastic experience for myself in being able to educate not only parents but other coaches that have had a chance to see us play at a higher level. When I'm talking now about the cumulative effect of what we're trying to do and why we're together on this signing day, this is about young people that want more than just football. And our recruiting efforts at BYU are simply reflective of the values we have as an institution. So we want young people that are service-oriented because so many of our players serve missions. And that's not only something that we esteem as valuable, certainly not required, but so many of our players do that we see that as a strength. We love a service-oriented mindset in the community as well. So whether they're on missions or serving the community, we love great football. We also love young men of faith and high academic standards. And so when it comes to the recruiting class, unlike many typical recruiting presentations by a head coach, this is, again, more complete in nature, and hopefully that comes across. Now, in terms of the signing class in particular, and then I'll ask questions after I present these missionaries and the signees. When you look at the world map that we have, It's a humbling experience to be able to coach young men that have been all over the world and speak different languages and dedicated their time and resources to do that. Now when you take a look at the 12 young men, that you'll see different levels of experience in our program. Some went on missions first, some came back after starting as a freshman, some came back after being a redshirt player, some came back after starting for 3 years. And so the great thing is they all came to BYU for a reason. They're all coming back for maybe even a more important reason, and that's to help our program move forward. So again, each year I like to include them, those players, into the signing class itself. When you add these to the freshmen that are coming in the junior college